Okay. Uh, yeah, just really excited to be here, and we're 5 days away from our first game at versus Portland State in Beasley. Our players are excited. We've been getting out to the frats and sororities and trying to get the campus out here, and it's going to be a fun season. So just excited to get the thing rolling.
How fast have the last 6 months gone for you? I mean, the season's a few days away. I mean, does it almost kind of crept up on you, or what's that feeling like?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just been we've been putting our nose down and working. Had to build a roster all spring, all summer, just kind of putting the basics in, and so now we're already right here. It's crazy.
How close are you to kind of cementing starting five, and what does that kind of look like right now?
Yeah, I think it's something that it's been in different years is just different. Last year we were able to keep our starting five most of the year. I've had years where it's more fluid. And we've got a really deep team this year and guys that have stepped up and really come along fast this fall. So it's kind of work in progress. We'll see.
What is that like, kind of just coming into a different program and having to build the roster from scratch, but also kind of bringing guys that you're familiar with too?
I mean, it felt like a lot, and I can't imagine doing it without bringing four of our Eastern guys, and then also having, our coaching staff with me as well. So that was a huge help, and to have a couple guys that came back, like Isaiah and Parker, was incredible. I mean, those guys kind of showed me the ropes on campus, and it was just a work in progress.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about Parker and Isaiah. A lot of times when a new coach comes in, they're trying to bring their scheme to the players that are still there. But this, you were kind of bringing the scheme and the players, to a couple guys that stayed. Just kind of how important was it to have them, here, and how quickly have they been picking up on it?
They've been great, and our style is a little bit unique, and so we have to have players that fit. And the beauty of those two is I recruited Parker and Isaiah out of high school. They fit our system. They fit the character we want. And so they've been great. Like I already knew when I first got here. Parker was the one that gave me the tour of the athletic facilities and all that. So, no, I think it's just been a pretty smooth transition for those two. There's obviously stuff they got to pick up on, and they're learning. They're soaking it all up, and it's been fun coaching them.
With transfers and everybody that's coming in, just with the the practices and the scrimmages you guys have been having, just how quickly is everybody meshing together? How do you feel about the team's chemistry right now?
Chemistry's good. I think there's only so much you can do in the preseason. I think we've capped a lot of that out. I think we've done a lot of stuff off the court. We've done a lot of stuff where we're making them communicate in practice and putting them in positions where, if one guy fails, they all kind of fail, and so they got to count on each other a little bit more. But really, it's when you go through the fire. Like we got to go through some adversity and really see how each of us responds, and that's going to be the big determining factor if we can build a cohesive unit.
Coach, I think there's probably some high expectations for this program, but there's also a lot of new. Just kind of what are you bringing and what are you keeping the same about this program?
I mean, the beauty of Washington State is there's a real tradition here. The coaching for a long time has been incredible. The defensive focus and the kind of grittiness of the program is something that I'm really trying to be a part of and make sure that we keep that. I think Kyle did a great job, and the teams here before that have always had a gritty toughness to them, and so that's a mindset that we're trying to take over.
And what have been kind of some of your key takeaways from maybe the secret scrimmages you guys have had and just practices?
That we've got the talent to be a really, really good team, and we just got to find a way to be consistent.
Any other questions here for Coach? How much can you tell us about those scrimmages and kind of how those went for you guys?
They were super valuable, and we took a different approach to each one of those halves. I mean, we've had a lot of guys play. We had to try out a few things, and so I think it was great for our guys to compete and kind of see what that level looks like with different programs, and everyone emphasizes different things. So it was just good to get a feel for that, get a feel for who can play together, and I think there's a lot of overreactions to those scrimmages, good and bad, and so we just got to make sure that we're taking all those lessons and making sure we apply them.
Hey, Coach, I want to ask specifically about Case Wynot from Lapway. Just what was the story of getting him from, he had offers from UW and Utah State?
Case is a great kid, great family, someone that we recruited early, and then he had the kind of success where he was getting the bigger looks than when we were at Eastern Washington, and so again, another guy we were familiar with and family we were familiar with, and he's been great. He's had a good fall for a freshman, good summer, and just excited he's a part of our family.
What do you expect his role to be? Is he gonna, especially in the early preseason, going to kind of get on the floor? And what will that look like?
Well, I think all these guys are kind of defining their roles right now. There's been some injuries and up and down pieces to the fall, and so we're still kind of feeling all that out. But he can really score it. He's a tough defender, and he's a very, very high IQ basketball player. He's one of those guys that his smarts really show on the floor.
And forgive me if this was already asked, but when you look back, when the spring comes, when you look back at the season, what's going to define a successful year in your eyes?
I think, I want to have an NCAA tournament aspirations. I think that's where we want to go. But as far as just the goal is becoming a cohesive team, is making sure we reach our potential, and we'll see where that leaves us.
Less than a week till the first game. How important is it that you get it at home? You don't have to immediately go travel with this team, but you get a game in Beasley Coliseum to kick off the year.
It's exciting. I've been looking forward to this ever since I got on campus, and it'll be fun to have some home games this year.
There's a report that Isaiah was a little dinged up from the last scrimmage. Is he good to go for Monday, or how's he looking?
Yeah, it sounds like he'll be in a good spot. Every day's a new day right now, especially with how hard these guys compete. Like, these practices have been very, very intense. We've got a bunch of guys that have a lot to prove this year, and they're doing a good job making sure they push each other, and they've kind of taken the iron sharpens iron approach, and it's been good to see. So we just got to get everyone healthy and on the same page. But there's nothing too serious right now.